Last November, an article came out about the Times running synthetic focus groups on 642,000 AI simulated readers for 9 months. Accuracy 92%. General research is only 93% accurate. That's not a gap, that's a replacement. This has been sitting out there for 7 months, and nobody in the small business world is talking about what it means. I found it while I was researching the product I'm building, and it made a pattern click, one that plays out every time big companies run R&D like this. I want to walk you through it and tell you what it means for your marketing right now. So, using AI in marketing is most common case nowadays for so many people, for content creators, small medium businesses, for big companies, for everyone. But all those people are solving this problem differently. So, content creators solve this problem via generic AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, just prompting LLM, either repurposing your content manually or using specific tools to repurpose your content, such as Opus Clip or Riverside. There are so many tools out there. And obviously, when you start, you do it manually, but when you grow or when you're serious about what you're doing, you will upgrade yourself to a paid tool because AI is not cheap nowadays. AI generally is not cheap. Whereas big companies that need systems, they use more solid solutions and more expensive. They use MarTech solutions, marketing technology solutions. It can be all-in-one platforms such as Go High Level or HubSpot or Salesforce. Those are dominating the market of marketing technology. And also there are plenty of tools that serve any type of businesses, but mostly medium and bigger businesses in marketing technology, they're getting more and more complex, and they need specialists to run those tools, which is not so applicable to small businesses or to one-person businesses such as like consultancy, or think of any type small businesses who is just starting out without any big budget and without any time to invest into learning all those tools. So it turns out those two worlds are completely disconnected. The smaller businesses and content creators who are exploiting content marketing, they are on one side of the world, and the bigger companies who are doing the same, producing content and promoting their services with content, they are on other spectrum of this world. But essentially, they want to solve one single problem. So, individual tools that smaller businesses can use, individually, they are cheap. You can purchase any type of social media scheduler and connect all those social media tools in there and schedule your posting. You can buy Opus Clip or Riverside or whatever repurposing tool is there, or the tool that helps you produce any piece of content from long form content. So as I said, the individual tools are cheap and they are accessible, and you have to pick whatever is right for your workflows at the moment. If it's all-in-one tool, such as platforms we mentioned, or those are systems that when you purchase several tools and you connect them through API to create your own system, like a Lego. You just basically take Lego bricks that you like, that you need, and just connect them and build something for yourself, for your business. But this is individual tailoring. If you remember this system that I showed you in the video when I explained my YouTube infrastructure and what I'm building, you will notice it's basically the same workflow that every single content creator or content marketer in any company. It actually sits in between pure content creator workflow and enterprise, because I wanted it to be a proper system that works like semi-automatic where possible, because there are lots of automation tools and I want to leverage all of this and I want to save time and without sacrificing any quality. This is not specifically for content creators, but I actually realized that this is a one-person media company, the thing I'm building. It can be one person or it can be a small team media company. Essentially, when you think of your content creation, production, distribution in a serious way, you realize that this is exactly a media company layout. I'm talking about when people, especially YouTube creators, say that you need to treat your content marketing as a real business. When I transitioned from marketing of media distribution, where I work in Disney, Endemol, Sony Pictures, one of the divisions of Sony Pictures production, when I transitioned to online marketing, I was immediately stuck and confused. And I actually felt like nobody. And I felt like I'm a bad marketer. Just now I realized that this is structurally absolutely different marketing. Online marketing is mainly whatever type of online marketing you pick, SEO, content marketing, whatever. It's actually a performance-based marketing. And this is like absolutely different than marketing of media distribution in bigger companies. Now I see the disconnect because the performance marketing with their KPIs and media companies with their cultural impact, they measure different indicators and they measure success differently. Basically, for bigger media companies, the indicator of success would be cultural impact. Yes, of course, there are indicators of success like theatrical release, box office, or how many people are watching it on streaming services, which actually overlap with performance marketing. But performance marketing initially is what piece of content is driving your sales, which is more individual and more like precise. But if we're talking about media company as a concept, the core processes would be the same: production, distribution, and monetization layers. If you see what I'm trying to achieve, it's actually production, YouTube workflows, repurpose, which can be treated as distribution because you repurposing and you distributed your content to other platforms, and monetization. Here it's a conversion. This is actually outdated. I will make another one. I just wanted to share this concept with you right now. Like I created it a long time ago and it still works, but it needs to be updated because initially this was AI powered infrastructure, but now I treat this as a media company, because if you think about what Gary Vee says or Hormozy, or not what they actually say but what they do, they create content, they repurpose it, and they distribute this content to other platforms to drive authority or sales or whatever goals they have in their business. But the principles and the structure is pretty much the same. It's just they have teams of people who are doing this for them. I don't want to do the team. I'm not ready for that. I don't have a budget for this, but I do understand the principles of media distribution, and I want to create a system for myself, maybe help you if you like, to be able to make it as painlessly as possible. Because what I see is a huge disconnect between bigger companies marketing and smaller creators marketing, and I think they can benefit from one another in terms of systems and in terms of applicability of those systems. But that's, I think, a topic for another video. Even the principles are different. I think they feed each other. So if we speak about product or social media marketing or individual marketing, as we already mentioned, it shows necessity for content distribution and intelligence layer in detail, aka what drives revenue. And bigger companies can use their data for some research that is not applicable to smaller businesses. What actually triggered this video? It's this article that I was doing some research on SaaS that I would like to build, what SaaS companies are, what actually is working, and what people actually want, which segment, such a big complicated marketing research. When I was like thinking about innovation, this is just one article. I'm not going to show you all the articles I read. How the Times is using AI to model synthetic focus groups from human audience. This is not like a common knowledge that you will hear on YouTube. What this concept is, synthetic audience is a new term added to media and advertising industry. It's pretty old, 2025. Now in June 2026 seems like really old in AI industry, but it's not common knowledge. That's why it's worth talking about. This is exactly an example where bigger companies funding some research. Let's talk about the concept and I will explain why it matters. So synthetic audiences or synthetic research is when a company simulates market research like focus groups, or they simulate whatever responses particular ICP or avatar or whatever it's called, like target audience, like representative of the target audience, like very specific representative, whatever opinion they have. They partnered with this company called Electric Twin, took a reader panel from its database, more than 600,000 subscribers, and created AI-generated simulation as well as AI-generated audience panel modeled of a broader British news reading population. So the result they ran with AI turned out 92% accurate. General research is only 93% accurate. Can you imagine how impactful it is for the companies who are doing this? This is not like your general ChatGPT prompt, ChatGPT give me a market research on this and that, or like how this 20-something year woman would behave, you know. It's just precise. research, and this is fascinating. What's most fascinating is that they comes out to be accurate if you using data and combining this like accurate data with LLM, and you make these tweaks so AI would give you correct answer, not the answer you want to hear, but actually simulation, like real simulation. It reminds me neuromarketing research back in the day. Bigger companies made neuromarketing research when they invested money, when they studied human behavior. They actually did some research. They invited people and did some, um, some like tests. Some like they showed some pictures, so maybe people tried some food, whatever company it is, because like they were really big back in the day, and they measured impact on how person behaves, how they react, how their brain reacts, how their brain behaves and reacts to the advertising or like piece of content or food or whatever you offer them. This is again was R&D for bigger companies with bigger data, with bigger budgets, and not accessible for smaller companies. When companies studied human brain, they applied this decision making of people to economic benefit of those companies. What it gave us as consumers or as small business owners gave us books on neuromarketing that we can use as a new knowledge to hold on to. Of course, Nobel Prize in economics. And it also changed the food industry pretty much, because when food industry companies took this research, food companies also participated in those researches. And what they did, they took this data and they sacrificed health of their consumers over their profits. So how will this R&D in AI marketing that companies are doing currently in their labs impact us all? Honestly, I don't know. AI still cannot make decisions, and it cannot make strategic decisions or right decisions, if you will. You can ask AI to repurpose your content in Opus Clip or Riverside or ChatGPT if it is a text content, or Claude or Perplexity or whatever AI you use. But it cannot tell you this particular clip will work in TikTok and this will work in Instagram. It can create similar content based on patterns. So AI needs data to predict something. And R&D here is where the big companies come in. In our case, we play on a very high-tech field. Google and Meta hold and control huge amounts of data. There's a lot of fascinating stuff going on in these R&D labs of AI companies or bigger companies that partner with AI companies. Will we see a result of it? Eventually, yes. We're seeing this result and impact of new LLMs and how they improve, and eventually new research that are going on in the labs and are not heard or trending on social media eventually come out and will impact us all. We cannot predict which way. I still believe that pure science is great, but it does need to change life in a practical ways and make our life easier and better. But that usually comes down to human choice. I guess I don't have a CTA in this video or outcome or closing words. I just wanted to share with you what I found and what I'm thinking about, what's in my head when I'm building this practical tool, researching this new AI. I am very deep in AI and marketing. I am interested in building my own product for myself initially. And of course, I know that I'm not a unicorn. My problems are quite common and relatable to other people. Eventually, my SaaS idea will come out of this. But I just wanted to share this all with you. And I would like to hear your thoughts on this in comments. If you have opinion on this, where AI is going and how it impacts us all. I think this video will be launched before my next video, skills in Claude Chat. I just wanted to record it quickly and share with you, and promise see you in the next one.